Hey, thanks for clicking on State of the City. My name's Todd Prafke. I'm the city administrator here in St. Peter. Today is August 10th. It's about 11 in the morning, give or take a little bit. And I know I'm off schedule a little bit, but I wanted to do a State of the City this time that really doesn't have anything to do with a council meeting or a workshop. Certainly, some of the issues are on council meetings and workshops, and there'll be some links below to some of these things that are part of council meetings and workshops. But I wanted to talk about some other issues that maybe have a little bit more far-reaching impact and aren't specifically related to action that a city council takes. So here we go. First of all, I want to mention Night to Unite from a week ago and Summer Celebration from just last night on the 9th, on Monday the 9th. I was down at, I was at both of those kind of events. You know, Night to Unite really started and has evolved over time. And in St. Peter, it's evolved, at least this year, went to 10 or 11 different neighborhoods throughout the community where we could find hosts that wanted to have kind of a driveway party or garage party and visit with their friends and neighbors. And so our first responders stopped by. So it's our police department, fire department, ambulance, and others stopped by. In my neighborhood, I was there for about an hour or so, and then I had to leave, so the first responders hadn't come yet. But I was told that in my neighborhood there were probably 20 kids in an ambulance all at the same time. All for good things. They were investigating and seeing and learning how things work. Nobody had been injured or anything like that. And so, how wonderful is that the first responders can be out there? And from the other side of the equation, I want to thank folks like you who may have attended or who certainly hosted. Just a really big thank you because it does, and this does matter. Those ambulance personnel, firefighters, police officers feel good in visiting with their friends and neighbors and having people ask them questions and being able to share what they know and what they use on a day in, day out basis. So win-win all the way around. So again, thanks for that. We had great turnouts at just about all those. Now we'll be doing this in the future. So if you're interested in being a host in the future, please contact the police department or the recreation department, either spot, and they'll be able to help get you on the list. And so as we get into the planning at the start of summer, late spring next year, we can get you on the list and try and incorporate you into the spots that we stop by. So again, thanks to everybody that participated. A really wonderful event. Now to Summer Celebration from just last night. I was down there. It was like an anthill with kids and families, and it was wonderful. The pool is free, and there's food, and thanks to the groups like the Lions, I think, were sponsoring or doing a fundraiser related to the food down there. So, how does it get any better? You can jump in the pool for free. You can buy a taco in a bag and a dilly bar that melts all over your hand. Uh, that's great. That's part of what we do in St. Peter as we get together. And so, a wonderful event. There, too, an opportunity to see first responders and learn really about a lot of other programs that are put on by the county and other not for profit groups within the community, besides just having a great time on the bouncy houses in the pool, the new jungle gym that's located down there. So, again, to all those volunteers, all those sponsors, and for you, if you attended, thanks for attending. I bumped into lots of people that had questions about streets or taxes or housing. Also had the opportunity to talk with people about firefighting. Had the opportunity to talk about tax increment financing. That's a pretty heady topic for a summer celebration, but it was fun to visit and share some information with folks about that. So again, thanks to all those folks and for those of you that attended. Let me switch to some other gears. Now, this week, again, I mentioned that today is the 10th, starting on the 11th, 12th, 13th, hopefully not the 13th, just the 11th and 12th, we are doing seal coating in town. So for those of you that might not be familiar with that term, that's when we put this black emulsifier, kind of an oily looking stuff on the road, and then we put kind of these little bits and pieces of purplish kind of stone chips on the roadway. And we do over 100 blocks just about every year. And I know, and I want to thank you in advance for your patience, but I know it's an inconvenience because on your block, we might be on your block for an hour putting that stuff down, putting the dirt, the rock on top of it, and smushing it down with rollers, and then coming back later in a few days or maybe next week to pick up the excess, the rock that didn't get kind of embedded into that emulsifier. And so thanks for your patience for that. This is one of the key components of our street maintenance projects. And so some people say, well, why do you do that? Not all communities do it. Why do you do that? We do it for a couple of reasons, but the primary reasons is that when you see potholes, 99 times out of 100, potholes are developed by a space where water penetrated or got underneath the bituminous or the cement, and then during the freeze thaw cycle, it popped it up and made it break apart. So, whatever we can do to help those streets shed water and make the surface hard for driving and plowing and help shed the water, that's a good thing for your streets. Now, we spend money on this, but we know really clearly that we invest in this area. When we invest in seal coating, in the long run, it saves you money because filling potholes is very expensive. Building new streets is even more expensive. And so the more that we can do to help prevent potholes from developing, the less expensive it is for us to maintain really the very nice quality of streets that we have in St. Peter. So if you have more questions, give me a call, talk with Pete out at Public Works. Be happy to visit about why we do this, how we do this, and what the selection process is for what streets are done in any given year. By the way, we do just about all the streets about every 7 years, give or take a little bit. Some are a little bit sooner, some are a little bit later, depending on the quality of the street, the subsurface, the quality of the surface, and the amount of driving that it gets on it. So anyway, watch for that. I also want to mention Tremendous Playground. You see some changes, well, really about 2 months ago in Tremendous with the new surface that we have there, the new wood fiber that we have there. I got to talk about Tremendous just for a second. There's a great photo up at the community center that shows the community support and the community volunteers that built that play structure. That play structure now is, well, getting to be about 20 years old. And as you know, it was primarily made of wood, and some of the basic foundational pieces of the structure are going to start to fail in the next 1 to 5 years or so. And so we got to be thinking as a community, what do we want to do in the future? What do we want to see there? What kind of repairs can we make to extend the life of that? But then also, frankly, guys, there's going to have to be a big expenditure and a lot of work done to rehabilitate or refurbish or replace that with something else that is equally enjoyable and can be equally loved. As all of you know, the Tremendous Playground is loved by adults and kids alike, and so we got to start planning and thinking about the future. The reason I pick on that one or mention that one as much as, or maybe more so than lots of other play structures, is because the sheer size of it makes it a very expensive project as we move forward, and the maintenance expensive and refurbishment, replacement, etc. And so we're starting to think about how that works. So if you're interested in knowing more about that, or maybe participating with the Recreation and Parks Department about what we can do in the future there and how you might be able to help, how you may be able to keep that good feeling going, please give us a call. We'll be happy to work with you and talk with you some more. I want to mention 2 other events here as we move forward, one of which is the Day of Hope, October 21st. That's a new project or a new festival event in St. Peter at Minnesota Square Park. So I think I said October. What I really meant was August 21st. And so watch for that. A group of churches from our area are really involved with some local, the genesis of this is certainly local, and the organizers are local. So we're really excited to help them and have an exciting festival on August 21st. So watch for some more information about that. And of course, as we move into September, that second weekend in September, the 11th and 12th, is Rock Bend Folk Festival. Some of you know there have been some major changes within the park, the plaza, and the pavilion a few years back, and some of the other things that are going on. We're really excited about to see how that can be utilized by Rock Bend and all the folks that enjoy Rock Bend Folk Festival. By the way, they have their own website, and you can see the lineups and all that kind of stuff. I don't know that I'll put a link for that one on there, but we want to make sure that you know about that and can participate. You know, it's free, and just it really is a fantastic event within our community. So thanks to all the volunteers that put that on and the organizing committee that have been stalwarts for many years in the effort that they put into making that just a great show for our community. The last one I'll mention is Fire Station. Last night the council took, well, I kind of said I was going to talk about council meeting, but last night the council took action to put the half-cent sales tax on the ballot in November. This gives people within our community who can vote the opportunity to vote and say, do I want to pay for a new fire hall using property taxes, or would I prefer to pay for it using sales tax? Would I prefer to see it all on my home or my business, or would I prefer to pay for it a little bit at a time and have other people who come here and shop and stay help pay for it as well? That's kind of your choice. And so we're excited, and I know the council's excited to put that forward to you. It's really clear right now, based on the best data that we have, that a sales tax will pay the debt service of this. And so that's fantastic. Prior to this, we weren't quite so sure. It was going to be a little bit of property tax and a little bit more of sales tax, but now 100% of it should be able to be paid by sales tax. So we're excited by that, and want to see what the community says. But to that end, we'll have some additional data flowing out about what does this mean. What are the costs? What's the budget for the fire hall? How's it going to look? Where's it going to be? All those kind of things. We have a lot of great information. And one of the places you can start to see some of that information, if you haven't seen it yet, is I'll put a link to last night's council meeting on there, and on page 22. Page 22 is the page that starts some of that information, and so you can see kind of how the project has gone over the past 4 or 5 years of planning, where we've come from, where we're going to. Talks about budget a little bit, talks about timeline for construction as the council moves forward, and talks about the impact on sales tax and property taxes. So look for that. We'll have some more information that will come out for sure, and there'll also be an opportunity for an open house at the old fire hall, so that you can see where we're at now and how that's got to change. I mean, it's really clear we got to get into a new fire station, and so it's a matter of you helping decide how that happens. So anyway, just some few tidbits really quick. Like, if you need care, the best care anywhere is River's Edge Hospital. So there's the website for that. Want to mention that. Also want to mention we have tons of rebates on lighting and on appliances and all that kind of stuff. If you want to know more online, here's where you can get that. I'll try and put a link on our website for that. I'll also put a link underneath here for the hot sheet. That's our weekly email newsletter. A lot of this information flows through that weekly newsletter that we send right to your email inbox if you sign up, or you can catch it on our website. Happy to do that too. And here's how you can contact us. Boy, you can see all this great information, right? Where you can email us, what our website is, where you can find us on Facebook, how you can call me, what our Twitter handle is, and our YouTube page, which we use a lot. So one of the things that you can see is council meetings on our YouTube page. You can also see school board meetings and county commissioner meetings too, along with lots of other good stuff. But those are things that are available on our YouTube page, so check that out. Phew, I'm over time. I got to run. Thanks for checking out State of the City. Have a great rest of the week.